let's talk about something painful, something so many of us have been through. The "I'm too busy" excuse. What is really going on when the person you care about the most just doesn't have time for you anymore?
It's a gut punch, right? 1 minute, everything feels so connected, so real. And then the next, you're just staring at your phone, wondering what on earth happened. You go from feeling like their whole world to feeling like, well, like an item on a to-do list they never get to.
Sound familiar? That little plea you send out into the void? You're practically begging for just a tiny slice of their attention. You send those "I miss you" texts, and you're just hoping, praying for a real response, not just some generic emoji. But a lot of the time, that response, it never comes.
So, let's break down how this happens. It's a slow fade, a growing distance where that beautiful connection you had gets replaced by a wall of excuses.
You know how it is in the beginning. The calls, the texts, they just flow. It's easy. You feel important. But then, bit by bit, a gap starts to form. The calls get shorter. The texts get less frequent. And you just get that awful sinking feeling in your stomach that something is deeply, deeply wrong.
And this is the part that drives you crazy, isn't it? You see them on social media, you hear about it. They're making time for their friends, they're seeing their family, they're pouring hours and hours into work. But for you, that well of time has just completely dried up.
All right, let's get to the hard truth of it all. The real reason you feel so ignored. Because, let's be honest, it's not actually about time. When someone keeps telling you they're too busy, what they're really saying, even if they don't mean to, is that you are no longer a priority. Think about it. We all make time for the people and things that truly matter to us. No exceptions.
And that's the key word right there, priority. Being a priority means you don't have to ask, you don't have to beg. The time and respect are given to you freely because they value you. The minute you find yourself constantly asking for it, well, that's a huge sign that your spot on their list has slipped.
Which brings us to the first, and maybe the most critical thing you need to do right now. You have to stop begging. Just stop. It doesn't work. And worse than that, every time you plead for their attention, you're chipping away at your own self-worth. You're teaching them that your role is to chase them.
Okay, so before we put all the blame on them, we have to do something a little uncomfortable. We need to take a quick look in the mirror and check in on our own expectations.
And you got to be honest with yourself here. Is it possible that what you're asking for is just out of sync with their reality right now? Let's see how that can play out.
Just look at this breakdown. If you've got a lot of free time and you're kind of just waiting around for their text while they are legitimately swamped, your need for connection can feel like a huge pressure to them. But on the other hand, if you are also busy, fulfilled, and living your own life, there's usually a much healthier mutual understanding about how you both manage your time.
All right, enough looking inward. Let's get to the good stuff. Let's talk about how to reclaim your value and shift this whole power dynamic back where it belongs with you. Here's a super clear 3-step game plan. Step 1, get busy. Seriously, fill your own calendar with things you're passionate about. Step 2, become less available. It's a weird paradox, but being constantly on standby actually lowers your perceived value. And step 3, reinvest in you. Your goals, your growth, that focus is your superpower. And you know what's wild? When you are genuinely happy and absorbed in your own life, a lot of these relationship anxieties just melt away. You're not waiting by the phone anymore. The dynamic shifts from one of neediness to one of two complete, independent people choosing to be together.
But what if you've done all that and things still feel off? Okay, here are some blaring red flags you absolutely cannot ignore. If your texts have been downgraded to just good morning and good night. If you see they're online but your message is left unread. If you can't remember the last time you had a real deep conversation. And this last one is the most important. If your gut is screaming at you that something is wrong, listen to it.
If those warning signs are all there, then it's time. It's time for the final question. This is the conversation that is going to decide everything.
Now, this is not about picking a fight. It's about getting clarity. You just need to calmly and directly ask what's up. What's really going on? Or, I've noticed a shift. Has your interest in us decreased? Give them a safe space to be honest.
But the most important part, you have to be prepared to hear the truth no matter what it is.
So you've done it. You had the talk, you put your heart on the line, and nothing. The excuses keep coming, the distance is still there. Well, now the ball is officially in your court. You are facing a huge choice about your future and about your self-respect. And it really comes down to two paths. Path 1, you can keep begging for scraps of their time and in the process lose yourself. Or there's path 2, the hard path, the powerful path. You walk away with your dignity completely intact.
You have to remember this. You have to burn it into your brain. If they don't value you, crying over them means the loss is truly yours. Staying doesn't prove how much you love them. It just chips away your own value until you feel foolish.
Which brings us to the one final question you have to ask yourself, and be brutally honest. If you are not their priority, why are you still making them yours? The answer to that question, well, it tells you everything you need to know. Thanks for joining.